Why is everyone calling Tengah the next Punggol, but the prices are like EC prices? Most people look at this forest town and see a construction site. But the intel tells a different story. So Tengah Garden Residences is going to launch this Saturday on 11 April, and the official prices just came out to be from 1779 per square foot. If you look at the number, it is almost similar to the recent EC launches like the Costa Cabana and Reveal EC in Tampines West. But the key difference is that you don't have to fulfill any of the HDB eligibility criteria such as your income ceiling or the 5 years MOP period. So is the market undervaluing this project, or have the market overpaid for the recent EC launches? So let's look at the numbers together and see whether the math add up for you. So let's take a deep dive into Tengah Garden Residences and see where exactly is the location. It is actually sitting in between the Jurong Innovation District and Jurong Lake District, which is our second CBD, and about 100,000 jobs will be added into this region by 2040-2050 to support the upcoming Tuas Megaport and also many other new offices in the region. So Tengah is going to be located right beside Kah MRT station with 30,000 square feet of retail and F&Bs on level 1. So via the Jurong Region Line, it is just a few stops to Jurong Innovation District. It is also just one stop away from Singapore's first car light town centre. So you have seamless sheltered walking and cycling path right at your doorstep. It is going to be cleaner, quieter and more futuristic way of living that is going to be a massive draw to younger residents here. And the Jurong Region Line, it will open in phases from 2027. So by the time the project TOP, the MRT line is going to be ready. And the biggest capital jump happens after the MRT starts running. So by getting it now, you're actually capturing the convenience premium before it is actually being priced in. Now let's talk about schools. ACS Primary School is actually relocating to Tengah in 2030, which is around the same time as the TOP of Tengah Garden Residences. But to be clear, Tengah Garden Residence is going to be within the 2 km radius, not the 1 km. Even if you're not in the 1 km radius of the Phase 2 war zone, being in the immediate 2 km vicinity make your property a top choice for families who want to be near the school without actually paying the premium for it. Now let's look at the mixed-use element of Tengah Garden Residences. This isn't just your pure residential project. We are talking about 3,000 square meters of commercial space right on level 1. If you look at the map, most of the surrounding areas are BTOs. Usually that means waiting years for a coffee shop or a proper supermarket to open nearby. But for you, all the amenities are literally just downstairs. Whether it's grabbing a quick coffee or doing a grocery run or finding a place for brunch, your building is going to be the main commercial hub for the whole precinct. So as an owner, you get a doorstep convenience that everyone wants but few can find in a new town. And as an investor, that is your rental what factor. So when your tenant compare your unit to standard condos elsewhere, that means that they don't have to walk 15 minutes for a coffee ping, and this makes your unit a better choice. Now, finally, let's talk about the proximity to job hubs. We are just minutes away from the Jurong Innovation District. This isn't your typical industrial estate. We are talking about high-tech jobs for advanced manufacturing and R&D. This means your future tenant pool isn't just anyone, it's researchers, engineers, and tech professionals. Having a high-quality tenant pool at your doorsteps is what keeps your rental yield high and your vacancy rates low. So let's take a look at the facilities in Tengah Garden Residences. There's going to be one main swimming pool in the center. So it's going to be a 750 square meters of pool, but it's an irregular shape. But from the developer, we do know this is going to be a lap pool. So I believe this parameter here is going to be 50 meters. And the next area is the clubhouse. This is going to be a 2-story clubhouse with hobby room, reading room, games room, changing room on the level 1. And above the clubhouse is going to be paddleball court. And this is very exciting because paddleball is so popular these days and it's so difficult to get a court outside. And below the clubhouse on level 1 on the commercial sector, there are going to be restaurants and shops, and also a community plaza that is going to be open to public. There will also be one more clubhouse which will have function rooms, and one tennis court. So this tennis court can also double as a pickleball court. Now let's take a look at what is surrounding Tengah Garden Residences both in the present and in the future. You can see here on the eastern side there's a cluster of BTOs that will already be built before Tengah Garden Residences TOP. And to see what is on the north side currently is an empty plot of land. Let's open up the master plan. So on the master plan here, you can see the northern side is going to be zoned for a future hospital. And on the western bank, this is actually the sports and recreation center zoning. And there's also a zone for education land here. And most of the unit in Tengah Garden Residences are actually in the north-south orientation. So on the east side will be BTO and also the MRT track, which is right here, Kah MRT station. And on the north is the empty plot of land, future hospital. And on the western side is your lake and a park. So there are a total of 863 residential units over 9 blocks of 16 story. And I've already earmarked the best buy stacks for safe entry and to secure an easier exit in the future. So DME saved Tengah and I will share them with you. Now let's take a look at the interblock distance here. So you can see that using the scale here, the interblock distance could be around the 25 meter range, which is not too near, not too far. So the furthest range will be from the block in the center here to here. This is going to be about estimated about 40 meter range. So your main facings are either facing inwards, which is majority of the units facing each other, or there will be a few units facing towards the north side about Future Hospital and the south side towards the lake. So afternoon sun angle will be something like this. So these units on the side, the side walls will get afternoon sun and maybe a little bit on the balcony as well. So just to take note. So next, let's take a look at the pricing for Tengah Garden Residences. So these are official pricing from developer, and it really shocked all of us when we see the price is actually going to be starting from just 1779 per square foot. If you are comparing this to the market, this is actually practically an EC pricing, but how can it be? And but I believe the average per square foot will actually go up closer to the $2,100 per square foot, like maybe around 2085. So there's going to be 1 to 4 bedroom layouts, a total of 863 units, but only 39.7 or about 40% is the smaller units of 1 and 2 bedder, and about 60% are the bigger unit type, which are the 3 and 4 bedder. And this unit mix is not surprising because there's actually a very strong demand for people looking for houses for own stay in the west region. So if you look at Tengah town itself, there are going to be about 30,000 HDB flats going to be completed. So in the future, when these BTO owners have already fulfilled their MOP, when they're looking to upgrade, there's actually not going to be a lot of supply in this area for them to choose from. And Tengah Garden Residence is going to be one of the only few mixed development right next to MRT in the whole of the Tengah vicinity. So if we take a look at the unit mix for the bigger unit, the 3 bedder make up about 40% of the whole development, and 4 bedder only make up about 20%. It is very surprising that there are no 5 bedroom units in Tengah Garden Residences, and I think the 4 bedrooms here are going to be very popular, purely because there are also very few units here, and a lot of the buyers in the west region are actually looking for bigger spaces to move into. So next, let's take a look at the floor plans. For the 2 bedroom layouts, we have a few layouts, 2 bed, 1 bath, which is the smallest one, 624 square feet, all the way to 753 square feet. So this layout here is a 2 bed, 2 bath, 656 square feet, and the pricing going to be around $1.2 to $1.3 million estimated. Very efficient in my opinion. It has a enclosable kitchen, 2 toilet, and a dumbbell layout. The only thing is that in the bathroom, there are no windows on both sides. And the kitchen also wouldn't have a window, so this is going to be an electric stove. So for a 3 bedroom layout, a unit like this, 818 square feet, will be around $1.6 to $1.7 million. These are all the layouts available. You can see there are even smaller layouts like 797 square feet, and bigger layouts above the 1,000 square feet will also come with a bomb shelter. So in the market, this is actually a very safe entry price for a 3 bedroom layout, where a lot of the 3 bedroom layout in the region are going for easily $1.9 million. So I've actually compiled a list of all the different pricing for different condo launches on the market for the west region. So if you want a copy of this, DM me Tengah comparison and I'll send it to you. So next we have the 4 bedroom layouts, and this is one of the biggest layout in the whole development. And for a pricing range like this, it's going to be on the $2.5 to $2.7 million. It is still fairly attractive for the region. We have a close comparison at Nara Residences, which is just slightly above this price range. So there are also other different layouts available from 1130 square feet to 1259 square feet. I have also compiled all the floor plans with the project details here. So you know what to do, just DM me Tengah and I'll send all this information to you. So for the finishings, we are actually looking at ceramic tiles on the flooring, and in bedroom going to be vinyl. So compared to other developments we see in the market, this is actually on slightly less premium finishing. So for our PropertyIntel scoring later, we are not going to give it a very high score. Okay, next let's take a look at the numbers. So for Tengah Garden Residence, it's going to launch from 11 April, which is actually this Saturday, and I hope to push out this video before that. And this is actually the exact price guide from developer, 1779 per square foot, and this is actually making a shockwave into the whole property market. You can see here the most recent launch, Binary Residence, which is a similar development category to Tengah Garden Residence, right next to MRT with shops below. It's actually Binary Residences right here. Binary Residences was just launched about 1 to 2 weeks ago, and the average per square foot launch is about 2543 per square foot. So compared to what Tengah Garden Residence is going to start from, which is 1779, but I estimate the average will be around 2085. So even at 2085, there's a very healthy gap of about $500 per square foot for the same thing you're getting in terms of mixed development next to MRT station. So this is actually a very big difference. For a 3-bedroom, 1,000 square feet, that's actually about $500,000 difference in price in savings in Tengah Garden Residences here. There's also going to be Vela Bay, which is right next to Bayshore MRT station, launching on the same day, 11 April as well. And you can see it's going to be launching estimated about 3,140 per square foot average. So there's actually a difference of $1,000 per square foot if we are comparing it to Tengah Garden Residences. But of course, the reason the developer can actually sell it for so low is because the land price for Tengah Garden Residences was so low at 821 per square foot per plot ratio. So this chart is actually showing the different condo launch in the most recent times in the West region. So you can see the Lake Garden Residences are near towards the Chinese Garden area, but not near MRT. It's already about 90+% sold, and average per square foot transacted is about 2101 per square foot. For Faber Residences, which is nearer to the Jurong East vicinity, but also not near any MRT, average per square foot transacted is 2160. The Sand, which is in the old Jurong Road, Jurong Kechil Road, is about 2358 per square foot average. This project is not really selling well, by the way. And Nara Residences in Dairy Farm is also transacting about 2180. So you can see the market in this west region has accepted the price range of 2100 price floor, very healthy. So if you're going in below this range, is actually a very safe entry in this region, especially if developer really were to launch it from 1779 and then average is below 2k. That's going to be a very, very safe entry for Tengah Garden Residences. So now we are going to compare Tengah Garden Residences to the recent EC launches. So again, Tengah Garden is not an EC, it is actually a private condo. But you can see the prices here, the price difference, even to the most recent launch, Revel EC, which is actually near to Tampines West MRT station, but not with no shops below. The EC actually averaged about 1893 per square foot here. So Tengah Garden at 2085 per square foot average that I'm estimating is only going to be about 10% higher than your EC. But typically, EC to condo price gap is about 20 to 30%. So with this kind of price gap, which is actually way below the average market gap, I would say it's a very safe entry for Tengah Garden Residences. So now we're going to compare Tengah Garden Residences, a new launch, to the resale in the vicinity. So a similar condo in the west with a shopping mall below in Bukit Batok is going to be Lequest. But we have to know Lequest is actually not very near to the MRT station, so we can expect Tengah to have a bit more price premium. Let's look at 3 bedrooms for a good indication. So let's just use 1625 per square foot for Lequest here, and to factor in for the post-harmonization, we were going to add 5%. So a post-harmonized per square foot at Lequest would be around 1706 per square foot. Next, let's take a look at the price gap analysis. So we estimate Tengah Garden to launch around the 2085 per square foot. And earlier on, we look at the resale comparison to Lequest condo, which after post-harmonization is going to be around 1706 per square foot on average. So Tengah Garden is about 22.2% more expensive than this, which is within the range. Average new launch condo to a resale is about 20 to 30% price gap. If we're also comparing to Binary Residences, which is a similar and recent launch with similar attribute next to MRT and shops below, it was launched at 2543 per square foot average. So Tengah Garden Residence is actually 18% cheaper than this. And if we are looking at the OCR average per square foot for private property, it's about 1743 per square foot. So Tengah Garden here is about 19.62% more expensive. So I spent the last few days running a full simulation for this 3-bedroom stack in Tengah Garden, accounting for everything from buyer stamp duty here, also down to legal fees and a 7-year holding period with projected. So we are also considering all the costs involved in holding this property. Even interest payable to the bank is accounted for here. And by the end of the 7 year, you would have about $1.08 million outstanding loan. So your total sale proceed here is going to be about 963k. So when we add in the total sale proceed with the rental you collected, it's going to be a $1.1 million in sale proceed in a period of 7 years. So you put in 467k, you're getting back $1.1 million. So what is your net exit profit? So your net exit profit is going to be simply this number minus this number. So that's going to be a 478k. So when we look at the cash on cash return on investment, it is actually 102%. So this is actually a 2x return in 7 years, assuming all these assumptions came true. So now we're going to look into PropertyIntel score. So the last few slides we have been studying the price gap analysis. We have been looking into comparison to the resale comparison here. So I actually have a model built, and based on this model, the price gap comparison score is actually about 70%. So also after considering all these other factors, there are a total of 16 points, tenure, product layout, interior finishing, rent cash flow, etc. We are giving this a PropertyIntel score of 79%. So usually for condos above 70% score, I would say it's a pretty safe entry point. But of course, we have to monitor very carefully as the price of the units can actually increase during the launch itself. Thanks for staying with me to the end. I'm Danny, and my goal isn't just to help you buy a home, but to ensure you have a bulletproof exit strategy. The show flat opens this Saturday, 11 April, so if you want me to sit down with you to run these numbers, customize an exit plan based on your profile, or just to map out your progressive payment timeline, just DM me Tengah. Let's get you in early to secure the direct developer pricing and to ensure you're entering at a safe zone. I'll speak to you soon.